In a quiet neighborhood, two brothers shared a bond forged through life's trials. The elder brother, Larry, was a Vietnam War veteran, a decorated Marine who returned home with the silent weight of battles, fought, and scars both visible and unseen. His eyes reflected the profound resilience, the kind that would only those who have stared into the depths of the human conflict could carry. He moved with a quiet strength, a steady resolve that spoke volumes without saying a word. Peter, the younger brother, looked to Larry with admiration and curiosity. Peter had always been drawn to the world of storytelling, dreaming of using his booming, resonant voice to create something unforgettable. One day, he confided in Larry about an upcoming voice audition for an animated character. This wasn't just any character. It was a leader, a hero, a symbol of hope and justice. Peter wanted to make sure that he got it right. Sensing the importance of the moment, Larry paused. He looked at Peter with the wisdom of someone who had lived through life and death. He said, "If you're going to be a leader, you need to understand this. Real strength isn't loud or aggressive. It's quiet, it's steady, it's strong enough to be gentle." Those words struck a chord deep within Peter. When he stepped into the recording booth to audition for the role, he channeled Larry's wisdom. He didn't shout or growl like many of the other auditioners. Instead, he delivered the lines with a calm, commanding presence, a voice that would inspire trust, hope, and courage, even in the darkest times. Peter Cullen delivered a rousing performance, delivering the line, "Do not lament my absence. For my spark, I know that this is not the end, but merely a new beginning." The directors were captivated. They knew they had found their Optimus Prime, what the world would come to know as the iconic voice of a leader, the voice that carried millions through the battles on screen. In reality, the voice of a Vietnam veteran's quiet strength, passed down to his brother. Behind every phrase uttered by Optimus Prime was the soul of a Marine who understood what it meant to lead with gentleness and unwavering resolve. Larry's legacy lived on, not just through his brother's voice, but in the hearts of countless fans who found hope and courage in the words, "Autobots, roll out." Welcome to the Mental Health Janitors, where we help you clean up the mess in your head. This is take 17 for the intro of the last episode of the year. I'm your host, Sergeant Q, and with me as always,
Doc Jess. Welcome and thank you for being here.
What's her name?
Oh, this has been rough.
So what we're going to do today is not forget our random knowledge test for Q.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This will be great.
He's on today. So.
I am not on. It's been a rough week.
Rough week. All right. You ready for this?
Nope.
Nope. Well, our fans are waiting.
All four of them.
We have like 42.
Okay. You know, my mom doesn't even watch this podcast.
Mama Q.
I know.
I'm talking to her.
She watches Judge Judy.
Maury Povich. The results are in. All right. What two astounding events took place within only 66 years? Oh, you're going to hate this.
Women's suffrage. And,
no!
Oh.
No! Not that! No! What two astounding events took place within only 66 years, whether they actually happened?
Oh! The moon landing.
Uh-huh. There you go. And this other one is real.
I don't know. The moon landing.
Think of what Casey loves. What does he love to do?
Watch Star Trek.
What did he do in his past career? What did he love to do?
Oh, yeah. He used to fly airplanes, but 66 years, we went to the moon and then circumnavigate.
Before we went to the moon.
Oh, we gained flight. Yeah, we were able to fly. Okay, so there we go. Thank you for leading me along. Breadcrumbs. We were able to fly and then went to the moon. 66 years. But we never went to the moon. We still have
He was
been there.
gonna say this is perfect for today. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we will not be going on a tangent today of Sergeant Q's conspiracy theories.
They're not, if they're true, they're not theories anymore.
Conspiracy facts. We're just not going to do it today. We're not going to do it today. Okay. But you're right. You got it. The Wright brothers plane flight 1903 and the first manned flight landing on the moon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These cards are BS.
Yeah. Well,
That whole segment might have to be cut out.
at least
It's a travesty.
it's a travesty. All right. So, hey, it's December 31st. Happy birthday, Dad. My father was born on December 31st. And we're wrapping the year up. Our first full year, start to finish.
Oh, first calendar year. Yeah, you're right.
First calendar year. And
first
remember,
calendar
the
year.
calendar was made from what? The Bible?
The Gregorian system? No. There's another conspiracy. 12 months doesn't make sense. Actually, there's 13 months if you go back and look. The Gregorian calendar is a total lie. It's totally fabricated. It actually doesn't even make mathematical sense because we have a leap year and we've got to eliminate a day every so often. No, if you go back to how in Mesoamerica, the Mexicans actually had it right with the 13 Baktuns and 13 months. And then they decided that 13 months makes sense mathematically. It's perfect.
What did I start today, Casey?
Hey.
Hey. Okay, so
Random facts.
Random facts. As we're wrapping this year, first and foremost, we want to say thank you guys for coming along this journey with us, telling us what you like, what you don't like, and what we can improve on. And we hope to keep bringing you guys more priceless knowledge into 2025.
Yeah. And Casey and I have talked about spinning off other podcasts like the Qspiracies have been talked about. That might be something that we do. I know I'm looking at doing a shorter form podcast. We're talking 15 minutes directly about mental health and business, specifically about business. So what we give here is general knowledge, but I've been doing so much coaching of the business world that I'm thinking about rolling out another channel that's only going to be 15 minutes a week, something quick and easy to absorb, strictly about
idea.
business for leaders in business.
That's
So
really
we're specifically targeting them.
I love that passion the Lord has put on your heart.
Yeah, I almost quit this weekend. I was like, why am I doing this? I almost quit every weekend though. So
I must quit every weekend. Yeah, I almost quit again. Yeah, I feel like quitting all the time too, but I have a husband I have to report to. You think I'll get some heat for that?
Let's check and see if he's still watching.
Yeah, and if I actually report to him or not. No. Yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit about some our top 3 favorite things we've talked about this year.
Yeah.
We are again going to be a broken record. Let's see who can guess what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, what do you think they are? Go ahead, take a second. What do you think they're going to be? The top 3.
Timestamp. We're going to know.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So mine is your morning routine, that structure, routine, and discipline of your morning routine. I had a really hard weekend this weekend with my wife having to go get emergency surgery. And that morning routine, I had to keep it even as she was going into the hospital and dealing with those things, had so much chaos happening. I had to stick to my morning routine. Otherwise, I don't know what would have happened. And then the second thing that goes along with that is I had to reach out for support from friends and family because I needed it. You know, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm some big tough guy who can just take it all, shoulder it all by myself. I can do that, but what happens is that it becomes overwhelming and I end up in a mental health crisis. So it's as hard as it is sometimes to reach out for help, it's super important to do that.
Yeah. And on the flip side, make sure you're the kind of person who gives help a lot so that when it is your turn to need help, people are ready and willing to give you help when you need it.
You know what? That's true. It was
That's not in my notes.
Yeah, that was. now that you're saying that, I do a lot to help a lot of people.
Yep.
And when I said, hey, I need help, there was an avalanche of support and prayers and help that came my way.
Yeah.
A ton of it, way more than I expected. I figured I'd get like 10, maybe 20 people. And I had several hundred people. And I probably had 10 or 20 people reach out to me privately, not even on social media, giving me support. Even some today who saw the post from the weekend and still wanted to check in with me.
Yeah.
So it was pretty amazing how that worked out.
Yeah. So if you're one of those life suckers who's always the one who needs help, it's harder
Start
to get
giving it. Start giving help.
It's harder to. So yeah, I do like to put his mantras in boundaries. Everyone. Hey, Sergeant Q said to ask for help, so I'm asking for help. I need $1,000 to go on vacation. Not the kind of help we're talking about.
No.
So.
But you're absolutely right, Jess. There are some people out there, and probably some of you who are listening right now, who just suck the life out of every situation. You have to stop doing that. You wonder why you never have close friends. You wonder why people avoid conversations with you. You wonder why people make up excuses to get out of conversations with you. It's because you suck the life out of every room. But you can change that.
Yeah.
And you can start today. When you go into a conversation, don't talk about your needs. Try to help somebody else. When you see somebody needing help on social media or in person, go offer to help them, expecting nothing in return. You will be amazed on how quickly your relationships will change. But I know people. There are people in my life right now. I'm thinking of 5 or 6 of you right now that suck the life out of every single situation there is. And you wonder why you don't have close friends. You wonder why you don't get invited places. That's why. But you can change it. You have the power. You can change it today.
Which is going to, this is a really good side road that we're taking to go into one of my top categories.
Oh yeah,
or
I forgot you had
discussions.
something to
I
say.
have some too. And people like to hear me, Aaron. No, one of my most important topics I would like to bring up today as we look over the year and look into the next year is soberly self-reflecting. And what I mean by that is not like, sure, soberly, I want you to be sober as you do it, but without a veil, without the blindness to your own faults, right? That's why there's so many scriptures about judge not, yes, you be judged, and look at the log in your own eye before you see, because it's human nature to be blind to our own shortcomings and be able to point out everybody else's. And what I'm asking today from myself and for people that care about me and who want to have a better year next year and continue to grow in character and in every area of their life is to learn how to have that sober self-reflection. Mm-hmm. In every situation, what did I do? What can I take accountability for to have made it better? In that falling out of this friendship, in that disagreement with a family member, in the discord that I had between these friends.
In the multiple different jobs that you've gone through this year, blaming everybody else but yourself.
And that's a good one from a business owner who deals with people like that all day long.
Not my people. My people are great.
Yes, his are great.
And I'm not saying that I'm just to be a schmuck either. Like I'm being for real. Like
you have great
employees because we built a great culture that doesn't allow those type of people in it.
Yeah, that's good. And then also in my line of work, I day in and day out, I see people just want to talk about their problems and blame their problems on other people and not take accountability for the role that they played or now that we know why we are a certain way, what do we do with it? And so have some self-reflection. My husband and I went down to the building in California and helped host a family conference day, I guess, or a weekend that they had. And one thing I love, Pastor Butcher's wife, Pastor Kaya, she just kept harping on, become self-aware. Know what triggers you. Know what makes you upset. Know where you're insecure, because that way you can say, okay, that one was on me. I assumed your motives when you said that because I have an insecurity there. That's on me. Imagine if we could all be better at that.
As you were saying that, my mind was spinning up with all of these different scenarios. I tell people all the time when they start getting on that, I say, assume best intentions. Do you
Yeah,
really
there it
think
is.
that your spouse or your friend or your pastor has it out for you? Like, let's just rationalize that for a second. Get out of that emotional lane of thinking and rationally consider the fact that you think that your friend, family member is out to get you. Is that a rational thought? And when they can rationalize it very quickly, they're like, oh no, that was their emotion. So, okay, so recognize this moment right now. You don't need me. You can do this on your own.
Yeah.
I love G.I. Joe. Knowing is half the battle, right?
Yeah. I quote that all the time.
I know. I was laying that up for you.
Oh, thank you for the
And I just
layup.
had to dunk on you. It's all right.
I'm used to it. No, but that's such a good point too. That's going to lead me to our third topic that we want to reflect back on the year that was really popular, that seemed to help a lot of people. And that's our cognitive triangle.
That was great. Yes.
Which is, if we go back to that rational thinking that he's talking about, is just learning that cognitive triangle and how your personal, individual, selective cognitive triangle works. And that cognitive triangle will put up for you here as I explain it. With every situation or event that happens comes an automatic thought. That automatic thought triggers a emotion or a feeling, and then that emotion or a feeling comes over to the bottom side of the triangle that triggers a behavior. And a behavior is an action or an inaction. And usually that action or inaction then reinforces that automatic thought to be true. And what we don't realize is this cognitive triangle goes on 60 to 70,000 times a day. We have 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day. And 87% of those thoughts come from past experiences. So if you grew up in a home where you weren't nurtured and your basic needs weren't met, of course your automatic thought is going to be self-preservation and survival. But now you're an adult and you need to change that automatic thought and see, is it reliable? Is it real? Did that person, when they walked by me at work and ignored my wave, were they doing it because they hate me, or were they doing it because they just came off a weekend that their brother went to jail and they're overwhelmed? There's so many other options than this person is out to get me. And that's one of the most dysfunctional ways of thinking, right? And that's why the Bible says in 1 Corinthians 13, it's talking about the attributes of love. And one of them is love hopes for the best. And I think I was like 15 or 16 when my dad, who's a marriage counselor and pastor, my mom and I got into it because teenage girls and their moms get into it. And I was like, no, Dad, she meant this by that. And obviously I'm almost 41 years old. And I remember this conversation and him saying, Jess, no, love hopes for the best. You're hoping for the worst of her intentions right now. And I'm not going to stand for that in my house. Love hopes for the best. And I use it in my counseling sessions with families and marriages every day. So thanks, Dad, for that nugget.
Yeah. Do you pay him like a VIG on that? Do you give him like a little kickback every time? For a little wisdom?
He gets to be in my presence.
I'm not going to touch that one.
He gets to have me as his daughter. I'm just kidding. I say that because it'll make him laugh. No, my dad he's a angelic being, and I'm honored every day of my life that I get to call him my dad. So
he's a pretty cool guy.
Pretty cool guy.
So this year, think about it. Reflect. You have a couple days before you've got to start. No, actually,
one day.
You have one day. You have one day to sit and reflect on who you want to be next year. Now, this is not, we've talked about this last year. This is most definitely not a New Year's resolution. These are small little things that you can do every single day to achieve a goal. I do not believe in New Year's resolutions because people make them all the time, and by February, they're out the window.
No, that.
Right.
So when you say, Q, you have a couple days, no wait, you have one day. Let's take it for, you have a couple days, because this doesn't have to happen by the 1st or then it doesn't happen.
That's true.
So take a couple days. We're reflecting on this last year. We're reflecting on this year coming up, and how do I want to challenge myself to be a better leader in my home, in my work, with my kids, in my area of life, whatever, even if it's just being a better leader for yourself. What do you want to do to challenge yourself to be a better leader this year?
Here's an example, and I'll give this example. I started building this back in November because that's how I build out my next year. I start in November. I started speaking publicly, like as a profession, last year. I became a certified public speaker and started speaking across the nation. I did really well. I made decent money doing it. I wanted to 10x what I did this year. I did really well. I did really well this year, making impact and monetarily. I want to 10x that. I can't just today, the day before, say, I'm going to 10x that and then go do it. To 10x anything, which means 10 times the amount, I want to bring in 10 times the impact and revenue I did in 2024 in 2025. I can't just say that and not have a plan. I started building my plan back in November, figuring out how many stages I needed to be on, how many people there needed to be in the audience, how many leaders I needed to impact, how many employees they needed to have, what type of business I was going to serve. And I started building out this entire plan for the year where I know every goal I need to hit every month, which means I know every goal I need to hit every week, which means I know every goal I need to hit every day. And I don't focus on the 10x. I focus on what's right in front of me right now. And did I hit my goal for today?
That's good.
Did I hit my goal today? No, I didn't hit my goal. Okay, I'm going to hit my goal for tomorrow. Yeah. And I keep going and going and going. And if I fall short some weeks, that's okay.
Because in a year,
that's right,
you're going to have 94 times more progress than you had if you were just like, nope, I couldn't make it. So never mind.
Here's the mathematical trick.
Okay, you know that better.
I wanted to 10x. I know I'm probably going to have a 30% failure rate. So I built my algorithm for myself to be 30% over what that 10x would be. So if I fall short, I still hit the 10x. So I'm not aiming for 10x. I'm aiming for like 13x. And then that way, if I fall short, I hit 10. So I did the mathematical equation. I know myself. I know what the numbers are. And so I added a little bit extra. I work a little bit harder every day to be able to hit that 10x and not fall short of the actual goal. But that's what it takes. It takes that level of commitment, getting up every single day at 5 a.m., hitting the treadmill, not because I'm trying to be a world-class athlete, but because I got to do the hard things. Getting the ice plunge, not because I'm trying to do some polar bear challenge, but because I have to do the hard things. Doing my Bible study every single day, hiding God's word deep into my heart. So when I'm struggling and I'm going through it, that's what comes out of me, and not hate and discontent and anger and vitriol. That's what it takes. If you want to be successful in this life, if you want to be a champion at whatever you're doing, that's the level of dedication that it takes. Sorry, I started my rant.
Okay, so you guys, that's incredible. And I'm going to be the other side of this, because that is right. The goal is to be there. And a lot of the times I work with clients who know they can't do that. And so they just think,
well, they're wrong.
I'm not going to do anything. Shut up. It's my turn.
They can. They can do it.
Okay. So what I'm saying to those of you who are like, oh my gosh, that sounds so overwhelming. When you're starting this journey, that is very overwhelming, but you'll get there. What I challenge you to do, because we're reflecting back on routine, doing hard things, checking our thoughts, and self-reflecting soberly, is if you don't have a morning routine at all, okay, don't shoot for that right away. I'm asking you 3 very, very small things, 5 to 10 minutes every morning that you know you can do. When I started this journey with him, and he's, like beating me over the head with this morning routine thing, and I'm like, okay, fine, I'll do it. If I'm going to be a part of your group, I got to do it. I literally started with this. I woke up and did not push the snooze button. That's my first check. That's the one thing I did. It's good. A half an hour before I normally wake up. 7 was back then. I would sleep till 7. And I was like, okay, I'll set my alarm for 6:30. Don't hit the snooze. Check, did that. Drink 8 ounces of water. Check, did that. Go outside and do 30 seconds of deep breathing. Check, did that. It was literally less than 5 minutes every morning. I did that for 45 days. And then I began to add slowly to that. Right? Because Q didn't start with this huge morning routine.
No, gosh, no.
Okay,
no.
That's all I'm saying. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, if you already have a morning routine, you guys, and you're not hitting it every day, reflect. What part am I not hitting and why am I not hitting it? Let's readjust to something I know that I can do every morning. Get back to doing something every single morning that's going to be good for you, right? And one of the really hard things for me in this process was, well, the first thing I do when I wake up should be spending time with the Lord, right? And like we've been told that and told that and told that, which is great. Yes. And I'm not really into like the Lord told me and all that stuff, but I do feel like the Lord impressed on my heart, Jessica, I'm with you in everything you do anyways. So when you choose to not hit that snooze button, I'm with you in
That's
that.
good.
When you choose to drink that 8 ounces of water to nourish and start your body off with something healthy, I'm in that with you. When you go outside and you breathe, I'm out there breathing with you. You don't have to wake up and go straight to the Bible to show me that I'm a priority. I'm in all of that with you. So just make sure that you're inviting me in that space with you and get to spending time with me at some point during that morning routine. And I was like, oh my gosh, that helped me so much kind of ease the pressure of, I have to wake up and go straight to my Bible, right? Mm-hmm. Because then it was more of a chore. After I started building a morning routine, and I was awake and I was feeling good, I was like, okay, cool. Then I wasn't as much of a chore to get into the Word of God. And so for our followers that are believers, I still do challenge you to do something in the Word of God to start your day, whether it's one verse, one chapter, something. I do challenge you, if you're a believer in Jesus Christ, to do that because it does help. But it doesn't have to be that first thing when you wake up.
It doesn't have to be the very first thing. It's within the first 20 minutes of your day. It's really helpful because that's when your brain is going to absorb the most information. As you're coming out of that sleep state into a wake state, your brain absorbs. You're basically programming yourself for the day. So those of you who grab your phone and start scrolling on Facebook while you're in bed, you're programming your brain to look for its satisfaction in Facebook or TikTok or whatever social media app or email, stress, all of that. You're programming your brain what you want it to look for. So if within the first 20 minutes of your day, if you can get one verse, scripture, listen to the Bible, something of the Lord's word into your brain is going to be programmed to look for God things throughout the day. Try it for 45 days.
Yeah. And that's what I would like to challenge. We would like to challenge our viewers with. If you're watching this and you're feeling like, okay, cool, I want to do this. Accountability is a huge motivator in this. So comment, send us an email and be like, you guys, this is what I'm going to commit to for 45 days.
You know what's funny? I didn't want to say anything because I've been kind of keeping this thing in my pocket, but you keep talking about this 45-day thing. And it's something that the Lord had me do is I built out a 45-day devotional to get people. I already built this whole thing out. I did the whole thing. And I wasn't going to put it out this year. I was like, oh, I'll wait. I'll do it later. But you keep talking about. So
this is what we're going to do as the mental health janitors. We are going to he is going to put out a devotional every single morning at 5 a.m. live. We're going to do the devotion together. We'll record it in case you work night shift or something and can't be there, to do it within the first 20 minutes of you waking up. How about that?
So it's already written out. I was going to make it into an ebook for people. This is still in beta form. So this is not a finished product, you guys. This is something that I've just built out. I haven't even worked through all of it yet.
Well, let us be your guinea pigs.
But if you guys want to be part of that beta test group,
yeah,
I'm going to do the live, but it's going to be in a private group. It's not going to be out for public consumption. But if you guys want to be part of that, beta test this 45 days to get you into the habit of actually doing this and seeing where your life goes. I think this is a huge test, Jess.
Yeah.
Cool. And what we'll do is we'll do like an intake survey and an exit survey. That way we can kind of track progress and see what it looks like. And
maybe we'll extend it to 60 days and I'll throw in a couple to break it up, or at the end I'll do a couple or something like that.
Yeah. So let's look at that. If you guys want to be part of that, we're going to close it down on the 7th, I think, which is our next podcast. Mm-hmm. So on the 7th, if you haven't signed up by the 7th, then you're just out for this time. You guys can check it out when it comes out for public consumption.
Let's do it.
If you want to be part of the 45-day challenge, I guess is what would be the 45-day change your life challenge. I mean, what do we want to call this, Jess? Like, we're coming up with this on the fly. This was not in our show notes.
Yeah.
What do we want to call this?
I think it should be the first 40 days should be yours. So we'll talk about what that's going to look like. And then maybe I'll put it together.
No, we got to call it the challenge. There's some sort of like a 45-day. What do you think, Casey? It's 45 days.
Routine challenge.
Devotional. Yeah, but it builds your mental resilience. It builds your ability to Structure, routine, discipline. You have to do a lot of editing.
Mental resilience routine challenge.
Say that 3 times.
Mental resilience routine challenge. The MRRC.
We like our acronyms.
Join us for the MMRC.
No. Let's just call it the MRC, the Mental Resilience Challenge.
MRC.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that establishing that morning routine for 45 days when I first became a part of your Christian business development group was one of the best decisions I made. And so I think it's a great idea to offer that to our viewers, our 4 fans, me, offer that to me, right? I think it could be a really incredible tool for them, right? Especially people who are just getting into this morning routine thing to see if it's something they'd like to do. And doing the pre-survey and the post-survey is going to give us the numbers that we're looking for, and kickstart our 4 fans to start experiencing all the blessings that come from doing hard things, being disciplined, and having a morning routine.
Yeah, it'll give us some qualitative and quantitative data.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Don't ask us what that is. Oh, yeah, you guys, make sure that you like and subscribe. And again, let us know if you want to be part of this inside group of this 45-day mental resilience challenge, the MRC. And as always,
we always try to do 3 things here. We want to educate, empower, and encourage you on your mental health journey. For the Mental Health Janitors, I'm Sergeant Q.
I'm Doc Jess.
And we're out.
That's going to be so cool, Q.
God, every time you kept saying it, I'm like,
45 days.
No,